1, 2, 3, funky.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Obviously, you already know if you've tuned in what you're here for. We're going to discuss all things Sinners. For starters, I just want to say that initially when I saw it, I gave it a 6 rating, right? I have since then bumped it up to a 7, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, so let's get into some things. If you have seen some of my other videos, then you already know I am definitely a note taker. So with that being said, I have some notes that I actually want to pull up so that we can discuss all of the things. So just give me a sec and let's get into it. Okay, so for starters, music. Music, in my opinion, is a character of its own within this movie. Is definitely like the foundation and extremely symbolic throughout the entire film. So that's the first note that I have, the impact of music on culture, Black culture specifically, how we heal, how we celebrate, and how we connect with one another. That was a common theme throughout the film, and I loved every aspect of that. It even had me thinking like, dang, you know, music is definitely healing. At the same time though, it's like, to what degree? And what I mean by that is sometimes you need things outside of music, whether that be therapy or, you know, conversing, communicating, healthy communication and stuff like that. So I'm like, while music is healing, there is other things that should be in place of it. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a last resort, but that's neither here nor there. Let's start with Michael B. Jordan. Oh my God. When I say he did his big one, he did his big one. He definitely deserves an Oscar nomination. He deserves to win an Oscar for this film. Obviously, there's going to be like spoilers, and I should be putting some sort of like spoiler alert situation up for you. Basically, he plays two characters, Smoke and Stack, and they're twin brothers. And the reason why I say he deserves an Oscar is because he played the character. So when I first started watching it, I'm thinking, I see Michael B. Jordan. You know, we know him. He's extremely popular, obviously. But as the film kept going, and because his acting was so amazing, I saw two different people. So both of the brothers, Smoke and Stack, at one point or another, I saw them as two separate individuals, even though they were both played by the Michael B. Jordan. So shout out to him for like killing that role. Black male vulnerability, that was extremely present in this film. The black male vulnerability, honestly, throughout the generation. So younger man, middle-aged man, 30-year-old something man, you know what I mean? I love that they touched on that. There's a scene where, honestly, there's two with Michael B. Jordan's characters, where when they're with their women, it's a little hard for them to admit like, oh, I love you, or I miss you, I want you. And it takes that feminine energy to get them comfortable with like admitting those things. So I love the intentionality behind touching on black male vulnerability and how it is a complex subject. That was really dope. Tying in the black male vulnerability, I want to talk about black male and female relationships, which is something that was heavily present in the film. So the woman from, I keep forgetting, Lovecraft Country, the show with Jonathan Majors and Jurnee Smollett. She played Jurnee Smollett's sister, and pretty much her character in this film is the love interest of one of the twins. And I just thought it was extremely incredible for them to have her represent, like, she is a heavier set black woman, chocolate, beautiful skin. And to see her and Michael B. Jordan on film, like, the camera loves both of them. I literally felt the chemistry. I felt the passion. They have this one spicy scene that had me like, you know, this real, like, this is nice. Like, I feel it. I believe it. And I love their dedication to one another and just creating that chemistry. He had a scene with Haley Steinfeld that I also liked. So I loved the scenes that he had with his love interests and just that like passion within them. And I'm like, that's definitely giving black folk, you know, the passion, the desire, the yearning, and all of the things. I thought that that was extremely beautiful. Religion is touched on, I think, in an extremely important way. So for starters, Smoke and Stack, they have their younger cousin who they took under their wing. And I'm like, this is extremely relatable. I have a young cousin, her name is Tanaya, that I love to death. And I like to think, even though we don't see each other often, that to a certain degree, I've provided some sort of guidance for her as it pertains to certain situations. And that's how Stack and Smoke were with their cousin. I think his name was Preacher Boy, Choir Boy, Singer Boy, something boy. And so they like guided him throughout the film, both giving him different kind of advice based off of their personality and their values. But it was dope to see that like generational guidance. So I have that in here. But his father is a preacher. He's into music. And so the film touches on the music industry to a certain degree, blues specifically, and how a lot of Black folk, especially back in the day, saw it as like devilish music, you know, and how there was a distinct difference between the church and like secular music. But I feel like Ryan Coogler did a great job of fusing the two together. There's one scene in particular that is so deep and powerful and beautiful, where it's like the decades and generations are intertwined. Like you got the twerking era mixed with like the African diaspora dancing situation, and then you also have like old school and all of the things. I'm not even doing it justice explaining it. It's so artistic that I'm like, you would have to see it in order to understand what I mean, but it's just that beautiful. So that was one of my favorite scenes, actually. I felt like, look. So they literally lit the roof on fire. In the scene, the entire like brick around surrounding the place where they had their like club situation is lifted. So there's no roof, nothing, and we see the people dancing, and it's colorful and it's beautiful. And I was just like, that is so creative. Oh my God, it's so creative. And that was really, really nice. Yeah, I'll put right here in my notes, dance the roof off the house, because that's literally what they did. Horror aspect. So this was extremely important to me because I'm somebody that has grown to really, really love horror films. And I remember being younger and my mama throwing out my Harry Potter books. She made me I don't know if you've ever experienced this, please comment down below, where I had all of the Harry Potter books, the collection of them, right? And the pastor told the parents that it was given witchcraft, okay? So one day my mama came home, made me take my books, walk to the chute. It was like a walk of shame. I'll never forget this. And I had to throw them down the chute. Now, had it not been for the pastor in that situation, who knows? Maybe I would have been even more of a reader or whatever. But anyways, yeah, I had to throw the books away. So I connected to a certain degree with the religious aspect and just like questioning religion, and if this is a religion that we have conformed to, Christianity, or if it's actually a part of us, right? Because back in the day with the ancestors and whatnot, we was doing magical stuff and all of these potions and like healings, which one of Michael B. Jordan's love interests is actually into. She has this like healing shop where she does all of this beautiful, I want to call it mystical work, for lack of better words. But basically, I was just thinking, you know, it brings to question something that I feel like is questioned a lot. And I think that once you become a certain age, or if you've gone to college and you start questioning and analyzing things, especially as Black people, we start to think like, wait a minute, do I really believe in God? Do I really believe in Jesus? Is this something that I'm supposed to believe in, or is this something that was put onto me? And if I'm honest, that's still something, I wouldn't say a battle, because I wholeheartedly believe in God. I feel like it's important to believe in something higher and bigger than myself, and especially because it's not anything wrong with believing in God. You know, it's a hopeful connection to have. So I think that it's better to believe in it than not. At the same time, I feel like it's only natural to question it. If that makes sense, let me know. If it doesn't, let me know, okay? So that was something that they definitely touched on. The vampires. So the vampires in this were definitely given the vampires from because you have to like let them in. So they can't just come in. They have to get permission to come in and do all of the things. So that was interesting. I wish that they would have done more with the vampires. And I feel like that's in part why I'm giving it a 7. I think that there could have been a little bit more horror. I heard somebody say that it was like a whisper of horror versus just straight on horror. And I thought that that was very much on point. And I would have liked a little bit more straight on horror. Like, they did a great job setting the scenes and setting the tone and doing character development. We really got to understand the twins and their cousin and their whole like dynamic and connection. But I wish that some of that was put toward action. You know, like it had a slower start, and I understand why, because I know he was setting the scene. At the same time, it was just like, okay, I'm already in love with Smoke and Stack. I like how y'all developed the characters already. I don't need any more character development. At this point, let's get to the action, okay? So that was that. A little slow. Yeah, I put, see, a little slow to action. Too much character development. Come on, Ryan. Too much character development. And I felt like the approach was slightly chaotic, which is another reason why I'm giving it a 7. It's funny. My friend asked me the other day, like, so if it's good, why are you giving it a 7? If you feel like Michael B. Jordan deserves an Oscar, why would you rate it a 7? And the reason for that is because of all the things that I said. I felt like it was slow to start. And I also feel like there was a little bit of chaos, which makes sense because I feel like his brain is so big and beautiful that he was just mixing up all kind of stuff and fusing things together that I honestly felt like maybe everything didn't need to be in this movie. It seemed like every thought he ever had was put into this movie regarding like race relations, our history. Oh, relations. Oh my God, I'm getting real excited because I filmed this before this time and I forgot to mention this. So another thing in regards to relations was the relationship between Asians and Black folk. I loved it down how he displayed the relationship between Stack and Smoke, and they had an Asian friend and his wife, and they were all really close. You could tell that him and his wife had a love for the twins. And why I love that is because you already know in culture, we see a lot of times, or we don't see a lot of times, Black and Asian folk getting along and kind of having like a community together. So I love that he showed that like we're friends, we're family, we're all, you know, inviting toward one another. And that like warm embrace of a friendship was shown in this film, which was super dope. Also, there were like Native Americans, I believe. Now look, don't take my word for it. They were some sort of indigenous people. And it was interesting because the white lady felt the way about letting them into her home, but she let this white man into her own home who ended up being a vampire. So what I loved about that is that it definitely makes you question your like stereotypes and the way in which you judge other people. You get what I'm saying? Based on like society standards of who is right and who is wrong, who is a criminal and who isn't a criminal. And once again, I love the way that he did that. I felt like it was poetic. It wasn't necessarily in your face. It's like if you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, you didn't. And that was extremely beautiful and well thought out. Look, I'm getting excited. Like, oh, it was so good. I'm laughing because I keep putting Michael B. Jordan deserves an Oscar. But that's that. I also wanted to share with you, there is a content creator that I just adore. She's one of my favorite lifestyle content creators. And this is some of what she said. This is Amani. If you all know Amani, she does like single diaries and all of the things. She hit it on the head. She said, I didn't grow up deeply religious, but embraced my ancestral practices around 18 or 19 years old. And it was so touching to see representation of those practices. I think both the Christian and ancestral beliefs mirrored each other beautifully, and to me ultimately messaged that in many ways we are speaking the same language. Now that was her response to what this one girl said about the movie after seeing it. Growing up deeply religious and now embracing ancestral spiritual practices, Sinners felt like a mirror to that journey. Love how it honored both Christian and ancestral beliefs, showcasing their power to heal and protect, a true representation of Black diasporic faith. And then we're gonna wrap it up with Sinners did everything for the little girl in me that loved Eve's Bayou. That's Amani talking. And she said she couldn't wait to read all of the think pieces and whatnot about it. And I agree. This movie's so deep and so powerful that I'm already knowing there's going to be a lot of think pieces and whatnot on it. And if I'm honest, while my score right now is a 7, I honestly feel like it's gonna go up the more that I'm reading and watching more analytical thoughts about it. Like, I feel like my brain didn't have a capacity to pick up on everything. Whereas if I hear somebody else speaking about certain motifs and symbolisms and you know, whatever, what have you, that the movie displayed, I'm sure that my mind will change, and for the better, not the worse. I think it's gonna go up more, but that 7 is in part because I don't understand everything about the film, and I'd like to, if that makes sense. Saying all of that to say, I definitely recommend that you go see it. 10s across the board, in a sense of like, this is a movie that we need. It's something different. It feels like it feels like Good Times. It feels like a slave movie, but not like the worst kind of slave movie, if that makes sense. It's giving slave movie, Good Times, soulful love. Like, I feel like it just encompasses a whole bunch of blackness in the most beautiful way and in a different, unique, special way. And that is what makes this film a standout. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I am super, super excited. If you have not seen it, please go right now and go see it. If you have seen it, let me know what you think down below. And I also wanted to say, I plan on seeing it again, maybe a couple of times, because I know there's things that I didn't catch the first time around. That's just how deep it is. Shout out to Ryan Coogler and the entire cast. Y'all did y'all big one. And I cannot wait to see them and to cover the Met Gala, because the theme for Met Gala is old school black fashion. There's an actual word for it. Let me look that up. And I'm already knowing that Anna Wintour is going to invite Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and Haley Steinfeld, and, you know, I'm sure most of the cast. Let's see, Met Gala theme 2025. Okay. Super fine tailoring black style. Okay. And I'm like, wow, very much on brand for this movie. So I'm really, really anticipating May and seeing the cast at the Met Gala. So we'll touch on that when we touch on that. In the meantime, in between time, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. See you next time. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Oh my God, I need some water. I've been talking. Thank you.